I'm going to call the meeting to order. Please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First thing we have are the minutes from the Selectmen's workshop, which occurred on Monday, January 25th. I make a motion we accept them as printed.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. And we have the minutes of the Selectmen's meeting, which occurred on Monday, January 25th. I make a motion we accept them as printed.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. We're all set. We have the check voucher totals. Payroll for week ending 1/30, $150,529.37, of which $103,347 is from health insurance. And accounts payable for week ending 1/23 is $25,849.94, for a total dispersed this week of $176,379.31. Make a motion we sign.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, we have a purchase order. This is to Tyler Technologies. It's for software support. The amount of $8,390.65. Ellen, is this on our
It's on our accounting program.
accounting program? Okay. I make a motion we approve it.
Second.
Any discussion? No. All in favor? Aye. We have an application for a veterans exemption. Our assessor has reviewed it. Person meets the qualifications. I make a motion we approve it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have an application for a veterans tax credit. The assessor has reviewed it. This individual served in the Gulf War. Meets the requirements. I make a motion we approve it.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We have a land use change tax. This is for the South Point Sands investment. Make a motion we sign it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I love it when some of these forms specify that it must be in black ink. Rebel, blue.
Blue doesn't count. That'd be good.
This is the current use change form that goes with that tax form, and I make a motion we sign.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We've been notified by New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services Congratulations, the Department of Environmental Services Exotic Species Program has selected your exotic aquatic plant control program. Say that 3 times. To receive grant funds in 2016. Below is a breakdown of total project costs. Long story short, total grant award is for up to $13,168, and that will be dependent upon what we actually spend. There's quite a packet of information here that I read, and a lot of it, quite frankly, might as well have been written in Swahili, but that's okay.
Sure it wasn't?
Huh?
You sure it wasn't?
Yeah, well, some of it may be, actually. But in this is a certificate of authority, which appoints Ellen, our town administrator, as our contact person, I guess. And I make a motion to sign.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
And I did run through the figures real quick, just based on what's in the existing trust fund account and the proposed expenditures and grant funds. And if we expend the total proposed amount, we should end up with about $4,278 left over in that fund.
Okay. We have an application for a link to our website from the Cornerstone Christian Academy. I make a motion to approve it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. A letter that mentioned in last week's meeting to the Downtown Grill Cafe North, and it's a welcome letter from the Board of Selectmen, and I make a motion to sign.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a notice to the trustee of trust funds from the Board of Selectmen. It's on the Whittier Covered Bridge Expendable Trust, asking them to issue a check to the town in the amount of $4,713.39, and that's to cover a invoice that we have in fact paid in that same amount to Hoyle and Tin. Make a motion to sign.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This is to the trustee of trust funds from the Board of Selectmen. It's for withdrawal of bridge replacement and or repair expendable trust. This is on the Valley Road Bridge that we're working on. And it's asked them to make a check to the town of Ossipee in the amount of $2,319 for reimbursement of the following payment on the Valley Road Bridge project. And that was a payment which we approved to White Mountain Survey in the amount of $2,319. Make a motion to sign.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We've been notified, and actually I guess we've received it from the looks of it, signed a check from the cable company. Each year we get a franchise fee, and we have received a franchise fee from Time Warner Cable in the amount of $11,861.23. There is a breakdown here that shows how they come up with that number, if anybody would like to look at it. We have also a copy of a check that we received from the Highway Block Grant in the amount of $34,349.16. When is the revenue?
What block grant?
Excuse me?
What block grant?
It's from the Highway Block Grant. We have a letter from the Medication Bridge Coordinator at Huggins Hospital. Please extend my thanks to the Selectmen Budget Committee and the residents of Ossipee for helping fund the Medication Bridge program for 2016. It may be a little premature, as Don Mitty hasn't completely funded it yet, but I'm quite frankly sure they will. But it's a little bit of a long letter, but the big part is that they've decided that they were going to make themselves available to people who have Medicare D during the fall enrollment period, which is October, November, and early December, to review their plans with them and, if necessary, help them change to a more appropriate plan. That is something which has been a little bit outside of what their normal goal has been, which is simply to provide medication. So it is a good thing, and they're asking for our help in getting that word out. And Carol will make sure and get you a copy of this that you can maybe follow up on. But it could be a very important service to some of those people. And it's here in the file. It's a cover letter to us, a copy of cover letter to us from the DES, Department of Environmental Services. It's on the Jedry excavation site. that they've received the 5-year progress plan and status update here. Anybody like to look at it? You have the consent calendar agenda from the Executive Council, which is again here in the file if anybody would like to look at it. And I don't think there's anything else that we need to take action on. And that concludes the red folder. Old business. Covered bridge, Greg, I pretty much have covered that in workshop, but
Yeah, there's really nothing new. They're wrapping up the punch list as we speak here. So that's really about it up there. It's, you know.
yeah. In the interest of transparency, one of the things we just discussed in our workshop upstairs was that the engineering firm for 3G construction has submitted an additional change order for additional work on the bridge. It was news to us. We work with Hoyle & Tanner, who is our consultant engineering firm, so we're going to obviously have them look at it. And I mean, it is troubling to me that at this stage they now say they may need more work. Having said that, we're going to review judgment until our consulting engineer has a chance to look at it, and then we'll have a meeting with them, and as soon as there's more to report, we will. But so there is something going on behind the scenes, but we'll keep you informed as it progresses.
What's
So-
it for? Got any details?
It's actually a quite complicated document that we just got today. So I pass it. I hesitate to comment on it because I'm afraid I'm going to be wrong. But we're reviewing it. Our engineer will review it, and then we'll meet with them, and we'll certainly report back. Highway garage, anything new, Brett?
No, nothing new on that. I think they're obviously working on the rest of the contract they have as far as the design goes of it. So come spring, when if hopefully everything passes at town meeting there, we'll be able to break ground and dig in, the end of March, early April. The way the spring's coming, it could be the earlier end of that, so.
Well, that is the desire of the selectmen, certainly, if it passes at town meeting, and I hope it will. I don't see any reason why it won't. That we want to move. We want to get going on that. Speaking of that, one of the things we're also discussing is the possibility of possibly moving the rec summer program out of here into across the street. Do we know if Peter's any luck?
I did reach out to the school, and they didn't seem to think that there was any problem with it.
Okay. One of the concerns being that if we're going to have an active construction zone here behind Town Hall, and to have all of those kids running around, there's all the ingredients to have a recipe for disaster. So if we can move that across the street, it would free up this parking lot and be a lot safer. Just make sure that it stays on our list to stay on top of it. Nothing new on the road safety audit.
On the which one?
28171.
No, nothing new on that.
Okay.
I have something to add to that.
Sure.
I did receive back the certified mail slip from the commissioner,
Okay.
DOT, so they do have it, and I'm going to follow it up with a phone call.
Okay. Awesome.
Maybe she can speed
No.
it up.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you. Anything else under old business, Brad?
No, it's just been a very quiet winter so far. The guys did just finish on Friday. They finished putting the dump water that you came down and looked at.
Mm-hmm.
They were rebuilding. It was all installed on truck number 4 now. It came out looking very nice, and they finished fitting the sander into it today. So that truck's up and running and ready to go for our next event that we have here. So.
And one of the things that this, Jerry, you have to get with Brad on the particulars of the dollar amounts, but this is one of the areas, and we're thankful. I mean, in this particular case, it was a dump body which had been damaged in an accident way back when. Insurance replaced it, and the guys down back rehabbed that dump body so that it literally looked like it was new out of the factory. And by doing that, saved the town, you think, $14,000?
Well, that was probably a $15,000 dump body installed on a truck.
So, again, these guys do well beyond what they're required to do, and we appreciate it. And make sure and convey to those guys that we do appreciate it. On that note, one of our employees, and that's public knowledge now, go ahead. Dennis's dad.
I think so, yeah.
Dennis Coates, one of our employees, his dad passed away, and obviously we extend our condolences to him, and Brett, I'm sure you're making sure that he has what he needs from our standpoint. We certainly will want to convey our condolences to him and his family. All right. Anything else from the old business? Thank you. Bob? Ellen? New business. Well, no? Well, it's going to be a good evening. Good evening. We did have a finance meeting this afternoon with our finance team, town administrator, our finance manager, treasurer, tax collector, and us. Went very well. We have what's the amount we have in the bank? 2.2 million dollars in the bank currently, which is more than enough to meet all of our current bills. And everything's going well. The field portion of the audit was completed last week. I think again in a maybe not record time, but certainly with no significant issues. That audit is ongoing. I mean, they've done the field work, and I'm sure they'll come back with some questions, but that will be finalized within 90 days, correct?
Hopefully.
The goal is, in fact, I think what they're required by contract is to complete it within 90 days, but there were no surprises. And I'm sure they'll have recommendations as they do every year, and when we get them, we'll try to adopt them, so.
What did you said it was a special part of the audit completed? I missed that.
It's the field work where they actually come here to Town Hall and then collect and look at a whole bunch of documents and accounts, and they spot check personnel files. They've been here and done that portion of it. So. And they used to allocate a couple of weeks, and I think last year it took about
4 days.
4 days, and this time it was 3 days. So it appears that everything is in order and no surprises yet. So I'm sure they'll have some questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. Pretty confident that with the crew that we have, that they will get their answers. So, upcoming meetings, the February 3rd here in this gym is the public budget hearing. At 6 o'clock, the budget committee's meeting. At 6:30, the public budget hearing starts here in the gym. On Monday, February 29th, is going to meet the candidates night here in the gym at Town Hall.
What date was that again? I'm sorry.
Excuse me?
What date was the meeting?
That is February 29th.
February 29th.
Yep, at 6:30 here in the gym.
I think I may have it incorrect. Oh, you wrote it in? Okay.
Okay, yeah, on February 9th, we got the presidential primary election. Certainly hope everybody participates in that.
Where's that?
Voting would be here.
On your website, it doesn't say where these elections. It's got your dates and your times, but not where. So I don't know if everybody knows that.
Okay, well, let's make sure, we don't want anybody to miss out because they don't know where to go.
Right.
So
And what time is voting?
that's 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Thank you.
Yep. We have the March 8th will be the election of town officers, election here. And then on the 9th, the following night, will be town meeting here in the gymnasium at 6:30. So those are all important upcoming dates. I was happy to see that I think there's only one office that did not get filed for, and that is one seat on the budget committee. There were 2 seats available. There's only one person running, so there is one. It's time that somebody wants to do a write-in campaign, and it wouldn't take many votes to get it. So, but other than that, there's somebody, at least one person running for every position, and there are 4 contested races, which is a good thing. So I'm glad to see that actually filled up. I was getting a little worried this past week. So, public input. Boy, they were doing well when we got the report. It doesn't even have a question.
Well, you stumped me because you don't have your workshop meeting.
Yeah,
minutes
I'm
up,
surprised
so-
they're not up, because normally with the holiday being delayed,
Oh,
but
yeah.
those should have at least been up last Tuesday, Wednesday, so I'll look into that.
We know how to stump it now.
Yes, we do.
Always.
But the minutes are excellent. I mean, they're long. I mean, the meeting minutes from last week are 6 or 7 pages, but they are comprehensive and they are complete and they're accurate. And, you know, I'm hopeful that people do read the minutes, and because it gives an accurate representation of what's going on, so. Anything else? Easy. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.